Goes Andre.
Okay, so first question. This year for FCN, we went outside our comfort zone with our storytelling. How will you continue to do that and engage your audience?
What I want to do is I want to explore different avenues for how it relates to our culture, because I don't want to stick with our sort of home, home story. Like, I want to expand that into, like how we did this year, we went into more political sort of storyline. And before that, we usually went with a more personal, more family-oriented storytelling. And what I want to do is I kind of want to expand it into something, I want to go into different genres, honestly, and probably expanding more on our political, our political climate over there in the Philippines, especially under the new administration. I feel like maybe having a story under that administration could be like an eye-opener to a lot of people here living in the States, because as you guys know, the new administration has implemented new rules and it's honestly changed the way that life is being lived in the Philippines. And I know this firsthand because I went back to the Philippines during winter break and I saw the differences that this administration has had on the culture there. And probably putting a spotlight on that would be one of my ideas of having a different type of, storyline for next year's FCN.
And second question, how will you integrate various cultural lessons throughout the year?
Oh, I got this. Okay, so what I really wanted to do during the year, if I am your Coco, I really wanted to do skits and sort of like videos along the line during GBMs, because I know under the Constitution it does say that we should do like weekly and skits during GBM about our heritage and our culture. And I honestly wanted to do like a mini FCN, like halfway through, sort of like hype up FCN, like second semester or whenever we have it. And probably do more spotlights on our food, obviously, because we have some good food. And probably showcase more of the dances that people don't know. And probably share some, music, every other traditional or just honestly anything about the Filipino culture.
Oh, sorry. I have a couple audience questions. So the first question is, please explain which areas of Philippine history you are most passionate about, and how would you reflect that amongst our members?
Okay. So one of the most important parts of Filipino history that I personally really like was during the administration my parents lived in. And shoot, the name just left my head, but it was during Marcos administration. And this is when it was very socialist, and it was kind of like a more, a lot of the rules were different from nowadays, and them telling me their stories about, how they lived and how the sort of climate, their political climate, the environmental obviously, but the different types of rules that they had to abide by and all the different, interesting ways that they had to live their lives. That's personally my favorite, because I like hearing stories about it, how they compare how we live here in the States to how they lived back in the Philippines, and how their parents were a lot more different because they grew up in a different time, and how their time in the Philippines changed them, and how it applies to me nowadays, even if I'm still living in the US.
Okay, and the next question is, for a second semester, usually, as it has been seen, FCN tends to take over report-wise. How will you balance working FCN but also emphasizing all other aspects of culture that doesn't just pertain to the content of FCN?
So this goes back to me doing mini skits, or sort of expanding more on our culture, because there is a lot more to our culture than what is heard across outside of Samahan. And FCN is a really big and important event for the second semester of Samahan, but I wouldn't want to leave out how our culture is being affected, or how our culture is changing and evolving throughout the years, and putting spotlights on sort of different aspects each week for each GBM, alongside the FCN, plugging. That'd be one of the main ways that I would try not to have an FCN overload, especially during my reports, or especially during the reports of Coco's.
Thank you.